Things are looking very interesting in the GOP race in New Hampshire right now. It's a very close race between Republican hopefuls Mitt Romney and John McCain, the two gentlemen that you see there. Romney's National Press Secretary, Kevin Madden, joins me now. Hi, Kevin. How's it going?
Martha, it's going great. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you here. You know, it looks like it may be a little bit closer than we thought maybe a couple of days ago. What do you attribute that to?
Well, I think these races in New Hampshire always tend to draw closer towards the end. I think that's just part of the historical nature of New Hampshire voters. They take a good look all year round at all the voters, or at all the candidates, and they take a long time to make up their mind. And as we see in the closing days, the polls really do tighten. And we expected this. Our campaign Get Out the Vote effort has always been built for a very close race, and that's where we think we can make the difference here in the last 48 hours.
Let me ask you about coming in second, because he came in second in Iowa. There's a good chance, according to most of the polls, that he might come in second in New Hampshire tonight. So if you come in second in both places, what kind of pressure are you under in Michigan? Because John McCain won in Michigan in 2000 and still has a pretty strong base there.
Well, our goal has always been to be competitive across the board in all these early primary states, and then we can make the case for the governor's candidacy as we move on to February 5th, where there's a large bulk of delegates at stake. So if we did very well in Iowa, we finished in the top two spots there. If we can finish in the top two spots here in New Hampshire and then go on to Michigan and South Carolina, Florida,
Kevin, let me
Nevada.
ask you this, because eventually you want to win something. You want to take a state and be definitive and say we won it. Where's the next possible opportunity that you see a win, that you guys feel good about, that you've definitely got it going there?
Well, I won't offer any predictions, but we feel like we can win in Michigan. We feel like we can win in Nevada, and we feel like we can be very competitive in places like South Carolina and Florida. And if we can make the case to a lot of Republican voters that we're finishing towards the top in all of these primary states, I think that can show that we have the depth and the breadth of the campaign to continue forward, that we're bringing together the most Republicans, whereas a lot of these other candidates, Martha, are limited by their appeal in either one state or their appeal on one issue.
Well, let me ask you this, Kevin, because your candidate said earlier today that he's finding his voice. Some people might look at that and say it's a little late to be finding your voice.
No, I think, Martha, I'd make the case it's just the beginning. Here we are in the second primary state on the calendar, and Governor Romney's message of change and message of bringing fundamental reform to Washington is resonating, and I think it's been resonating for a long time, and now is where you're seeing voters actually make their decisions on who they think is going to be the best nominee for the Republican Party to lead us as a party of reform and to go to Washington and actually bring fundamental change. And, quite frankly, as we see Barack Obama do a lot better in these Democrat polls, who's going to be the best candidate to post up against Barack Obama?
That may indeed be one of the operative questions coming out of all this. But before I let you go, I have a later question for you, because we have a Pulitzer Prize-winning political cartoonist with us today who's doing all the candidates. What do you think is Mitt Romney's most cartoonable characteristic of his face?
Well, everybody makes fun of his perfect hair.
I knew you were going to say that.
But I actually think he's got a jaw that would make Jay Leno jealous.
All right, Kevin. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Martha. Great to be with you.
You too.